Do not be afraid of false prophets. Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 22. So there appears to be an epidemic of false prophecies at the moment. But then this is nothing new. False prophets have always outnumbered true ones. How do you know which are the false ones? Well, the most obvious way is if they say something will come about and it doesn't come about, then they have spoken presumptuously. Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 22. When a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is, the thing which the Lord hath spoken, but the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously, thou shalt not be afraid of him. The point I want to highlight here is that we are told not to be afraid of such prophets. False prophets tend to add threats to their prophecies in order to make people believe them. These are along the lines of such things as saying, if the person doesn't receive the prophecy, they are outside of God's will, they will miss out on whatever blessings are promised, they're full of unbelief, they are rejecting God's word for their lives, and so on and so on. If a prophet makes a prophecy and it doesn't come about, then you need to pay no attention to them or their words. In a previous video, I drew attention to the vast number of prophecies online pointing to a September rapture. I personally do not believe any of these, but if you do, fair enough. It's a matter of conscience. However, if we get to October and nothing has happened, then don't keep listening to the same people. This may sound obvious, but throughout my Christian life, I've lost count of the number of false prophets I have listened to, and yet despite their prophecies not coming about, people continue to listen to them. There are a number of ways to discern false prophecies, and so I will attempt to list some of them. The first and most important is that, as I've said, if a prophecy is spoken and it doesn't come about, then it is false. A true prophet in the Bible is a holy person set apart by the Lord. If a prophet attempts to manipulate people with flattery or with crafty words, then they are not acting in a holy way. Prophets in the Bible didn't need to start off by telling people that they had been specially selected to hear the message or that it was no accident that they were there that day. They simply spoke as the Lord gave them utterance. A true prophecy may contain warnings from the Lord, but not threats to the listeners from the prophet about what will happen to them if they don't immediately accept what the prophet says. Every prophecy has to be weighed and tested. In the Bible, there were several female prophets. If a woman gives a prophecy, she should do so without outward adornment which might beguile men. She should be like the holy women of old. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 3. Whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold, or of putting on of apparel. In other words, she shouldn't be dressed up to the nines, trying to make herself physically attractive. The emphasis and the focus should be on the prophetic word, not on the person. Another one is a true prophet will not be motivated by the love of money, as this is the root of all evil. If a prophet asks for money for a prophecy, then they can be ignored. Prophecy is meant to enable us to hear God's word. It's not meant to be something that panders to our lusts and worldly desires. Neither is it meant to be something that fills us with fear and confusion. Paul wrote 2 Timothy chapter 4, verses 3 to 4. For the time will come when they, the people, will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts they shall heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. He was talking about such a time as we are in now. much of what are called prophecies are actually what the Bible refers to as old wives' tales. We have the Bible as our sure guide. Everything that is prophesied has to be in accord with the Bible and not in conflict with it. So, thank you for listening. If you found this video interesting, you can find more information at prophecy-workshop.com.